Hey guys, it's Tim from Australian Scooters. I'm just coming here to actually let you know about the Dragon Beast and what it's capable of. Thanks for tuning in and let's get into it. Alright, let's get into it guys. So, what's it like owning a Dragon Beast? These things are fantastic. As far as acceleration torque, you would not be disappointed. It will leave a smile on your face every time you ride it. As far as handling and stability is concerned, a lot of people get worried, especially with your high performance scooters, on what they're like and how they handle. With the dual stem forks, this thing will give you comfortability at any speed where you're not going to get those death wobbles or anything like that. Just make sure your tire pressures are at the correct temperature, correct pressure. You can see that by your actual tires themselves. I pump them up just straight to 50, 45, whatever it is on the tire, and I feel more than comfortable at whatever I'm trying to do. If I'm obviously going off road, I'll lower it down just that little bit more, just with to make sure that you've got a little bit more stability. But I've still found that even with the higher pressure, with the knobbies that come with the Beast, you will get over any terrain as far as sand, dirt, road. You're going to feel comfortable in most areas. Obviously, with a dirt tire on a road surface, just be very careful with your painted lines, polished concrete, anything like that. Apply the same rules you do to a road bike to one of these things, because basically they're a road bike with a speed cap. And with knobbies, you've obviously only got a certain amount of traction on the road, whereas with a road tire, you've got a lot more surface. With these, with road tires, you'll find that it eliminates all noise of the road, so you won't get that howling noise anymore. It won't sound like a beast, you won't have that much fun, but at the same time, you'll have a lot more grip on the road. I would not recommend them for off-road surfaces. I actually spent 3 days in hospital, literally just riding along, and unfortunately, with the road tires on grass, I lost control and spent a couple of days in hospital. It's alright, I'm here now and I can tell you about my experiences. As far as the hydraulic brakes are concerned, they're Zoom hydraulic brakes. You can obviously upgrade them if you want to, but I found that they're more than fine. I've done trips from Yarrabilba to Beenleigh about 20 times, Coomera to Southport, and I've always found that these brakes have been absolutely amazing to get me stopped. Plus, the engines themselves, both front and rear, actually act as brakes and will pull you up very, very quickly, which is a really, really amazing talent. Upgrades, as far as they're concerned, I'll give you a go and let's have a look at it. Alright guys, so here's the light that I personally use. So you've actually got your dual LEDs down there, but I personally use this long distance light, which you can see actually gets very bright. Now the reason why I use that is because with these lights themselves, the two LEDs down the bottom absolutely show you everything that's very close up in front, but a long distance LED will show you a much bigger distance, showing you that if there's animals or anything like that as such, you can actually just see them, avoid them, and obviously make sure no one gets hurt, including yourself. And that's the main priority. You and other people, animals. We've got to make sure that everything's safe, eh? You'll also notice I've got these bags. Now, I bought these from Bike Scooter City, $40, and at first I was like, should I buy them? I can promise you that they will definitely come in handy. I've got two of them on the front of mine, and the amount of times I've gone to the shops or needed to collect something, and they've been able to hold that or hold my phone and things like that, because when you stack, generally you come off protect handlebars. That being on the front, they're a lot more safer than what you would think that they actually would be. So definitely recommend the scooter bags. They're actually water resistant. That's a massive plus for those kind of things. Now you're probably like, Dan, what's the bad points? Obviously, there's got to be some bad points. $3,200, and that's an amazing scooter. So what's the bad points? All right, let's get into it. Now, as you'll see on the Beast, you've got your folding mechanism here. Now, you've got your little lock in here that'll actually keep it in place, which is a nice little safety tip. But when you unlock it, you'll notice that that's quite flimsy. To fold it down, I try and do this with one hand, but you've actually got to hold the brake on and try it with the other hand. Alright, so once she's actually down, to fold it down, I generally just put the front brake on, push. You would have heard that little snap. Just push both hands on the handlebars and you'll get it. Now you'll notice that this is tight. You want this, once you hear that crack, to be actually quite tight, otherwise you'll find it's quite loose. And what that does, you'll notice if I push the handlebars forward, it's a folding mechanism, but you want it to be able to fold in there properly, be tight and clip in. So your handlebars are safe, nice and tight. Now obviously with a scooter like this, you've got to consider that it's got hydraulic brakes, and do not make that stress you out as to not why you want to buy it. Alright, with the Zoom brakes, they're quite easy. Alright, I'll show you this. So basically you've got a little Torx bit here. You unscrew that. You can get a little hydraulic bleed kit from 99 Bikes, Trek, Giant, I think, places like that. Screws in the top there, make a little rubber seal that makes obviously in there, it comes with the kit, and then pump your brakes. Watch the little air bubbles come up. Once the air bubbles stop, screw your little cap back in, and what you want to achieve is this ability that you can have your hands in there and it's not going to hit your fingers no matter what, but you can apply full braking on the front and the rear with one finger and not have to stress about crushing your hands while you're trying to brake in an emergency situation. Right, now let's get to the good stuff. How fast does she go? Well, I've had this thing up to 76, 80 k's an hour, and I can promise you it gets there very, very quickly. As far as goodies and how you control it's concerned, you've got your controls on the front here. You've got your throttle, your dual and single mode. Now, single mode, obviously it's just the rear, but when you apply that, it implies a tremendous amount of torque. Same amount of torque as rear, but in the front. When you want to be going off-road, you want to be in first gear, dual mode, and you will achieve most terrain. Just be very careful and know your limits. As far as turning it on is concerned, you've got a full key start. You've got your speedo, your gearing, your battery meter, and your kilometers. When you first turn it on, you see this one's 280. Now my last one obviously had a fair bit more than that, but that's why I buy these things. They're just so great. You've got over this side your light switch. I've got my mobile phone mount here. I've got a G-Hub one, and your horn, which is quite loud. I've also modded the the handlebars. I put these aftermarket ones on. They're quite wide. I found that when you buy the cheap eBay ones, they're quite thin and not quite successful in giving the handling, which is not good for the average day person. Anyway, so I got these sticker ones and they seem to be doing really, really good. I would highly recommend them. And yeah. Now, would I recommend this scooter? 100%. As I said at the start of the video, these scooters will get you from A to B. They've got plenty of torque, plenty of power, and it will give you that reason to just chuck in the helmet, go to the shops, or avoid using the car as much as possible, because you've got your range, you've got your power. In Queensland anyway, you can take them on the trains and the trams. Just be very respectful for other people, and obviously, be courteous to people who are a little bit more disadvantaged than yourself. Would I buy one of these again? Absolutely. There is not another scooter. Like, you can obviously go your faster ones, 100k an hour, like, they're great, but in retrospect, coming from someone who's ridden road bikes his entire life, these things are very much the equivalent, but they obviously tap out at 80, 100 k's an hour with the hyper scooters as well too. There's not many roads that you can kind of achieve those speeds on without being dangerous, and having 10-inch tyres, obviously you've got to watch out for roads, 11-inch tyres, you've got to watch out for potholes, animals, other cars, and people are arseholes sometimes. They can try and actually, run you off the road, so you've got to be very, very careful of that. So using these, what I've found is use the bike lanes to your advantage. They're quite free, not many cyclists out these days, so enjoy that for while it lasts. Once your scooters start picking up, obviously see those start flooding up a little bit, but know your advantages, know your strengths, know your weaknesses, and just be safe and courteous for everyone around you. Don't hit freeways, they're very, very dangerous. Obviously these can achieve up to, 76, 80 k's an hour, but with those freeways, especially around the Gold Coast, Brisbane area, 110 kilometres an hour, there's not a point unless you're on a track that you should be doing that on an electric scooter, because you want to know that your track is fine, it'll achieve it. There's nothing that's going to jump out in front of you and end your day in a very horrible way. Having something like this, you're always going to be able to achieve those speed limits on a private track, or get yourself out of a jam around the streets or whatever else. If you want to go faster, obviously, take your own risk in doing that, but you can do some incredible things with these machines. So take it with respect, but if you're looking for a scooter that's be all and end all for $3,299 from Bike Scooter City, I would definitely recommend this scooter. There's not a scooter out there that makes me smile, I can chuck it in the back of my car. It's quite easy. Just chuck a towel down, it folds up. It's got a really, really cool folding mechanism where it's easy to tune yourself. You don't have to worry about taking it to a store or anything like that. You can just 10mm socket up there with the extension, and it takes a couple of quarter turns and your headstem is completely sane from that point. Brake pads every 800 to 1200 k's depending on how you ride. Just go with what you feel. If you feel like they're a bit doughy, bring it in for a service and they'll get it all up to scratch for you. Your tyres, maybe if you ride really hard, 1200 to 1500 kilometers. If you ride really, really hard, then you'll probably get maybe 800. If you ride conservatively, you don't know, you could get all the way up to 3000. It's just how you ride and what you do with your scooter. These scooters are not a push bike by any means. They are a small motorbike, so treated as such. Safety gear, full face helmet, gloves are a big thing, because obviously you're top heavy, you can fall over, scratch your hands, and you want to be able to stop that from happening. So I hope this video has been very well put. If you need any extra information, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm always available for questions. There's never a silly question. Can you hook a toaster up to these things? 100% you can. Should you? No. But can you? 100%. So if you have any questions, please ask me. I personally fix them myself and absolutely love them. Thanks guys, have a lovely afternoon. Hey guys, it's Tim from Australian Scooters. I'm just coming here to actually let you know about the Dragon Beast and what it's capable of. Thanks for tuning in, and let's get into it.